5 tips to improve your Danzaburou win rate. Because all of the snakes were fed up with eating just the one rat, so Hi-Rez had to make another. If you're just here for a build, then here, take it. I won't hide it behind up to 15 minutes of quality content. It'll do you for your silver games, I'm sure. Now, on to the good stuff. I'll be saving the special tip I've not found anywhere else till the very end, so stick around for that. Let's jump into tip number 1. Bread and butter. It's a colloquial term, but for anyone uninitiated, bread and butter in this context means your go-to combo. The two things that you can't live without, but alone are pretty useless. Who out there is just eating butter? For Danzaburou, our 1-2 punch is actually a 4-1 punch, his ultimate uproarious rocket into his first ability, Fool's Gold. This is best for jungle and mage Danzaburou, as they tend to fight more regularly in the early game. And in the early game this combo absolutely destroys. But if you are a side laner, i.e. a ADC or solo laner, because their lanes are at the two edges or sides of the map, then just use this on your opponent when you see an opening. This combo is his bread and butter, as it's his primary way of instantly deleting people for early to mid game farm, at least until Hi-Rez potentially nerfs this little bastard. So, how does it work? Simply find yourself a nice little hiding place in the jungle, not too far away from your target. For extra points, plop down a sentry ward so you know they can't see you coming. Communicate with your team that you're about to attack. Try a VSAA for I'll attack or a VSGG for I'll gank. Start channeling your ultimate ability, and tap the button again to make sure you hop inside the rocket. If you fire this off without hopping inside, you're just an expensive interior decorator who happened to blow a hole in the wrong wall. Once inside, guide your rocket into the enemy, and as soon as you pop out, hit them with a single basic attack and immediately fire your first ability, Fool's Gold, so all 3 projectiles connect with them. For added brownie points, throw your taunt alluring spirits just behind the enemy, so as they run away from you, they're taunted back into the explosion of your first ability. If they aren't dead yet, why did you even bother ulting a Cthulhu anyway? Otherwise, congrats on your new gold. If your bread and butter combo didn't kill the enemy, it might be because you need to build it better. Which takes us nicely into tip number 2. Think of ADCs that typically build like mages. Neith, AMC, Ul and Chiron all come to mind for me. Of those 4, only Chiron has a worse attack stim than Danzaburou. Neith has her buff too, which now steals attack speed from the enemy. An excellent boxing tool, and in the late game you are never going to have problems smacking a tank with this for an attack speed stim. Armus and Carb just throws a hive down in a nearby portion of the jungle. Your team isn't going to get there to take it out without their jungler devouring you, so he's always hitting pretty quickly. Ul literally has a button to make him hit faster, and an ult that gives him lifesteal with his axes, yet you still tend to build him like a mage. Chiron is the only ADC that I would say has a worse auto-attack aid than Danzaburou, and I say aid because neither of them really have an attack speed stim like the others. Chiron can auto-attack while dashing, which is nice, and then follow up with some damage too. He also has some really nice auto-attack cancels with his abilities, but they're nothing really compared to real ADCs. Danzaburou is much like Chiron in this respect. He has no attack speed stim, but his escape does give him the Fatalis effect, meaning he is not movement speed slowed while holding down the attack button. This may make it easier to box, but it certainly doesn't hold a candle to what most ADCs have. With that being said, if you want a better time playing Danzaburou, build him like most people build Ul. Throw a Transcendence on that rat early on, move into power or attack speed boots, either are okay because, to be fair, you do want some attack speed. Then start looking at the Mace tree. Brawler's Beatstick, Jotun's Wrath and Crusher, these are all good options, and then going in for a Heartseeker later on for that bulky damage. Heck, I've even been starting Mage's Blessing with him in Season 7 instead of Hunter's Blessing for that added ability damage and cooldown. Now, I won't tell you what to do, I build weird shit all the time, so I don't have the moral high ground here. But I am here to help your average player who just wants a tip or two. Before we get into tips 3, if some of you hit the like and subscribe buttons, I'll give you a sneak peek at number 5. Done? Okay. So, if any of you guess at this point, do let me know in the comments below, but it involves his second ability, Alluring Spirits. There, that's all you get for now. I said a hint, I didn't tell you I was going to give you exact details. And that brings us to tip number 3, the 180 Decoy. Decoy because of another game entirely, but it's basically any ability that turns you invisible or similar. The 180 comes from the degree of movement you should be doing, and any of you who didn't fail at maths, that's right, maths not math, may already know where this is going. In Smite or any similar game, if you go invisible or disguised or otherwise obscure the opponent's view of yourself, their singular brain cell will start calculating where you're moving. Just like when a radio cuts out halfway through a song and you can still sing the words. But what if the radio came back on and the DJ had mixed in a completely different track? Now you'd look like a right fool. Well, that's exactly what the 180 decoy is in Smite with Danzaburou. Use your third ability, Tanuki Trickery, as you need to get out of a sticky situation. Let's say Nejar just blink ulted you and you have 100 health left. If you ran directly away from Nejar, turning into a leaf, and then continue to run straight as fast and far away as possible, he is not going to miss his sash. You will certainly die. So, what if you juke right into the jungle? Would that work? Maybe, but a good player will likely catch this too as they see the leaves moving in strange patterns. Your best option in many close range scenarios is to trigger your leaf mode, turn out of the AoE of the god you're being pursued by, as if you run in a straight line in either direction you will just die. In this case it's a Nejar sash, so move out of the width of that. Then run directly through your enemy, beyond them, towards their side of the map usually. If they see the leaves moving in a strange way, they will 99% of the time think you turn 90 degrees into the jungle. But if you run past them, back into their jungle, or just wait for reinforcements, you can drastically increase your chances of survival. Just like tip 5 in a minute, tip 4 is also about alluring spirits. It is possibly his most intricate skill, as even including a weird ability like Tanuki Trickery, this little taunt bucket has a lot of moving parts to it. We're going to call tip 4 Second Breakfast, and it's one you have likely heard of, but is very much worth getting into the details of. It revolves around the hidden mechanic of diminishing returns, or DR. DR exists in most games, from Pathfinder to World of Warcraft and even Overcooked. It means different things in most of these games, but in Smite specifically, it vaguely means when a god is hit by CC or crowd control, for example a stun like Amir's Freezing Breath, the next CC they are hit by won't last for its entire duration. This, coupled with a new stat on some items called Crowd Control Reduction, means that stopping a god in their tracks can be difficult, which is where our Tanuki friend comes into play. Alluring Spirits, Danzaburou's second ability, and Taunt is not affected by diminishing returns. So, while you could set up your Amir for a huge freeze by landing a difficult taunt with Danzaburou, you should instead be looking to follow up on the CC of your allies. Let Amir freeze the enemy mage while you hit them with Fool's Gold on a few basics, and just as they're about to thaw out, throw Alluring Spirits. Hold them there for another guaranteed second, likely confirming the kill. So we've had our bread and butter, we've built it better, we've pulled off a 180 decoy, and had some second breakfast. Other than making me hungry, that means we've reached the 5th, final and featured tip. Tip number 5, duck and cover. You've waited this long, so I won't hide it behind elusive and obscure references disguised as an analogy. Duck and cover is basically using your Alluring Spirits deployable as a 2 to 4 charge upgraded shell in the ADC slap fight, hiding behind it and letting it absorb their hits. While you don't have an auto attack stim like most ADCs, you can even use this in the early game to give you 2 chances to block the enemy basic attacks in a boxing match. It works better against gods like Huyi and Heimdall, whose basic attack stim is just really hitting harder. You don't need to land the taunt or anything, just position behind it while firing a rocket back at them, and watch them plink their auto attacks uselessly into your little taunt bucket. This reaches even higher heights if you deploy it in teamfights. While you will largely use it to taunt, it can also disrupt the ranged autos of their ADC, helping your tanks live much longer, which they will be very grateful for. By the late game, this can win teamfights by dropping this 4 charge barrier in the ADC's face. This forces them to either use their mobility to get past it, making them vulnerable, or commit 4 basic attacks of the fight to this little jug of alcohol. Or even better still, place it in front of the enemy ADC around a fire giant fight. Then you'll only have to worry about their mage securing it. So, they're hitting a little jug of alcohol, while you grab that ring of glory for yourselves. So, there you have it, our 5 tips to improve your win rate with Danzaburou. If this video helped, drop a like and maybe, just maybe even subscribe. It really helps us out and tells me that you want to see more videos like this one. When you're done with that, YouTube thinks you might like the video on the left here. and I've given you one on the right which you also might like. And I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.